una separazione tra noi e loro. Il mondo dello spirito ama comunicare con noi.
Che cosa ti hanno sottoposta? Che cosa sono ormai questi esperimenti in laboratorio?
Citata in numerosi libri e pubblicazioni scientifiche, Elisabetta Lupano è una delle medium italiane più studiate dalla scienza.
You serious?
Riuscendo a superare tutti i test a cui l'hanno sottoposta. Il suo amore per il mondo invisibile la porta a perfezionarsi e a studiare in Europa e all'estero.
I smell bullshit.
Entra così in contatto con prestigiosi medium di fama internazionale.
Who the fuck are you?
È fondatrice dell'Angel Mentorship Program, un programma di formazione in cui insegna come entrare in contatto con gli angeli.
Per me comunicare con il mondo invisibile è come fare un'interurbana.
Bollocks.
Wow! Did you catch that? According to this video, the alleged psychic abilities of one Elisabetta Lupano have been scientifically validated. Finally, the proof we have all been waiting for. Pack it up, folks! Mystery solved! My dearest patrons, how are you all doing today? I truly hope you're having the most gorgeous day. Yeah, gorgeous.
Just like you are.
Breaking news, dropped on September 25th, 2024 by Dr. Francesca Guidi's channel. Wait a minute, why does she look so familiar? Oh my god, she's indeed a lookalike of Rita Skeeter from Harry Potter. Rita, darling, did the Daily Prophet's salary not cut it anymore, so you decided to get a doctorate? Doctor in what exactly? Well, judging from her website, she's giving off strong life coach meets wannabe guru vibes. And oh look, she's selling a creator car course.
Shut up and take my money.
Nope.
And scrolling down in her YouTube page, I'm getting some serious Andrew Tate energy here that's making my skepticism tingle.
Ooh, my spider sense is tingling.
Anyway, based on her other content, let's just say that my bolloxometer is about to go through the roof.
It's over 9,000!
Not to be too judgmental, but these claims are looking more suspicious than a penguin in the Sahara. Dottoressa, those are some mighty bold claims you're throwing around. A medium with scientifically proven supernatural powers. How exciting! But before we all rush to book our psychic readings, let's take a closer look at what kind of science we're dealing with here. The video itself is a whopping hour long. Yes, 60 whole minutes of your precious life, with the absolutely modest title, Mediumship Confirmed by Science. 1 full hour of an alleged doctor and an alleged medium discussing what essentially amounts to proving unicorns exist using the scientific equivalent of a magic 8-ball. It's like watching two flat earthers validate each other's beliefs using a spirit level from Home Depot. But let's go step by step here, my dear patrons, and dive into the wonderland that is our medium's website. According to her digital shrine of wisdom, Miss Lupano claims to be a psychic medium with the ability to communicate with angels and the dead.
You don't say.
Because, of course she is! What self-respecting psychic doesn't have heaven and hell on speed dial these days? She claims this gift runs in her maternal lineage, because supernatural powers are apparently like male pattern baldness. They just run in the family.
Bollocks.
And that angels, particularly the Archangel Zadkiel, have been sliding into her DMs with some premium celestial intel.
It's totally made up. Pure fiction.
Well, naturally, getting skills downloaded directly from archangels is just another Tuesday in 2024. I mean, divine revelation is definitely a thing, and don't worry, we'll explore this Zadkiel character later. You know me, patrons, theology is my jam. But wait, there's more! Our celestial entrepreneur has founded the Angel Mentorship Program, because apparently you can now unlock your psychic powers through a course. And if that's not enough to empty your wallets, she's also selling healing gemstone angels, crafted from a special formula that Zad the Rad personally delivered in her dreams.
Oh my god! Wow!
Because that's totally how divine revelation works nowadays. Forget about curing diseases or solving world anger. Apparently, archangels are now in the jewelry business. They are skipping those pesky doctors and scientists and going straight to mediums, especially Elisabetta, with their revolutionary gemstone crafting techniques, available for just 666 easy payment. But hold up. If she's having these celestial chit-chats, surely she must be able to see these angels, right? Let's hear her description.
Quando tu vedi un angelo arriva anche l'emissione di un'energia particolare. Quindi non è soltanto una visione, ma anche un'emissione di quello che loro emanano, per cui c'è questa straordinaria vibrazione che ti dà un senso di pace, un senso di quiete, un senso indescrivibile.
To me, she described just an hallucinations or something you would feel after eating the wrong type of mushrooms.
Yes, we must have let's wait.
Io vedevo ad occhi aperti la loro frequenza, che era sempre colorata, quindi colori non riproducibili in natura, brillantissimi, luminosissimi, e tutta questa sagoma. E ho da dire una cosa importante, assolutamente mai con le ali.
A colorful frequency. And of course, with colors that don't exist in nature. A statement that's quite hard to prove and, surprise, surprise, not the first time I've heard this claim. Yeah, with different details here and there, but you get the point.
Sure, Jan.
Quindi non hanno le ali, siamo noi che le abbiamo, come dire, per in qualche modo anche insomma a livello iconografico, storico, eccetera, rappresentato così.
Okay. So, how do they look like?
Come vengono, come li vedo io, quindi secondo quelle che sono le mie possibilità di visione, di veggenza, si sono manifestati a me in questo modo qua. Intanto sono molto alti, ripeto, mai con le ali, ok? Quindi non arriva mai questa energia con delle alucce, ma arriva questa frequenza. Sono molto alti, hanno una forma umana, quindi
No wings, tall and with human form?
sono bidimensionali.
Ma va a cagare!
Hold up, I wonder if this actually reconciles with what the prophets in the Bible saw.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Well, brothers, let me drop some theological knowledge on you. Sorry. The angels or malak are basically the celestial mailmen, bottom feeders of the hierarchy. Yes, they appear to Lot in Genesis 19:1 looking like regular dudes, nothing fancy. But oh boy, there are some other angels that would make your skin crawl. Oh my god! Cherubims, 6 pairs of wings and human-animal hybrids. Ezekiel nearly needed new pants after seeing these bad boys. Seraphim, coming in hot with 6 wings, 2 for flying, 2 for face covering, and 2 for foot covering. That's a lot of wings for supposedly wingless beings. Isaiah was not playing around with this description. Ophanim. Picture this. Interlocking golden wheels covered in eyes. Our boy Ezekiel saw these nightmare-fueled beings accompanying the cherubim and nearly had an heart attack.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
Guys, I don't know you, but I'm glad that those beings are not real. Anyway, according to Elisabetta, she's been chatting with Zed the Red, aka Ezediel, who's basically the celestial equivalent of a peace-loving hippie in Judaism, Christianity, and Islamic traditions. Although some texts put him in the choir of dominions, and judging by his colleague's appearance, I am betting he's not winning any beauty pageants. Here's the kicker, patrons. There's zero evidence, zero, in any religious text about Zeddy Boy moonlighting as a jewelry designer or dropping gemstone formulas in people's dreams. That's purely our friend Elisabetta's creative addition to the celestial lore. Now, speaking of creative additions, let's see what other claims she's cooking up on her website. So, patrons, not only is our angel whisperer here a medium, but she's also running a spiritual masterclass featuring angel therapies, psychic development, and something called a gong bath, which I don't even want to speculate what that is. Does one just marinate in gong vibrations?
Smoke weed every day.
In fact, most of her website's claims about angel communication have about as much scriptural backing as my cat's interpretation of quantum physics. But hey, when you are freestyle channeling celestial beings, why get bogged down with pesky things like facts and tradition?
Modern problems require modern solutions.
But wait, my dear patrons, here comes the real piece de resistance, a scientific study that supposedly validated Lupano's psychic abilities. This is what we're here for, right? Let me break this down for you. Basically, they had some mediums, including Lupano, or at least that's what we're led to believe. Our Dr. Rita Skeeter here was kind enough to drop a link to this experiment of the century in the description of the video. The participants are anonymous, but doing some quick math, it's safe to assume that Angel Hotline over here was indeed part of it. Here's the groundbreaking scientific study. They took a group of 3 mediums because why waste time with a statistically relevant sample size?
Well, that was a waste of time.
And had them do readings over the phone for deceased individuals. The catch? The mediums had zero prior knowledge about the deceased or their relatives. It was like a supernatural round of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but with ghosts instead of money. For each deceased person, the medium provided 2 readings. One real, supposedly connecting with the deceased spirit, and one fake reading acting as a control. Then, in the ultimate game of psychic or psycho, the relatives had to guess which reading was the legit paranormal one. According to the esteemed researchers, an impressive 36% of relatives picked the real reading. Or maybe, just maybe, these anomalous results have more holes than the plot of a Shyamalan movie. Let's start with the sample size. 3 mediums is barely enough to order a pizza, let alone conduct a rigorous scientific study. I have seen more robust sample sizes in preschool snack time. But here's the real kicker. The protocol. This protocol was supposedly based on the Bichel's triple blind method, which already has more rules than Hogwarts staff room. Only in this case, the blinds were more like gaping cracks that any reasonable person could poke massive holes into. No transcript, no recordings, no verification. It was like doing the hokey pokey and calling it evidence of demonic possession. So, in summary, this study had a reasonable sample size, a methodology with more gaps than a pirate's dental plan, and results that prove approximately nothing. But hey, who needs pesky things like facts, controls, or replication when you're proving the existence of psychic powers? I'm sure the researchers remained completely objective.
If there's a steady paycheck in it, I'll believe anything you say.
And the main researcher was Dr. Fernando Sinesio, psychologist and parapsychologist who has never apparently met a medium he didn't like. Wait a minute. These same books are quoted at the beginning of the video.
Citata in numerosi libri e pubblicazioni scientifiche,
Talking about a strong bias already in place. Rita, darling, journalism clearly wasn't your calling. Maybe try working on those research skills?
You had one job. Just the one.
Okay, but what about this Sinesio character? Is he legit? The quick answer is a big fat no. I actually had an email exchange with Dr. Silvano Fuso, who got roped into this circus when Sinesio contacted him during his thesis work. Fuso was invited to oversee the test that supposedly confirmed these medium's powers. Was he impressed? Was he convinced?
Good guess, but actually no.
In fact, Dr. Fuso spilled some serious tea. Sinesio had absolutely no clue about cold reading or Barnum statements, techniques that these mediums were clearly using. Even better, nobody from the University of Genova was supervising Sinesio's thesis. And this happened back in 2014, before the experiment we are currently discussing in this video. And I have a strong feeling that Sinesio, to this day, doesn't know what cold reading or Barnum statements are. With this new knowledge, let me break down once more the scientific paper faster than an angel can deliver a gemstone formula. 1. Sinesio is more biased than a proud mom at the talent show, and his ignorance of basic medium techniques is suspicious. Number 2, as said previously, the paper has no transcripts of questions, phone calls, interactions, basically nothing we can use to fact check. It's like turning in homework with my dog ate the evidence written on it. Number 3, out of 57 possible mediums, only 3 participated. I know nothing about stats, but 3 seems like a number you'd use for a pizza order, as said before, not a scientific study. And number 4, in the paper they use a modified Bishop protocol, modified by Sinesio himself. Let me break this down for you, patrons. Imagine you are trying to call your friend who's stuck in 1995 with a Nokia brick phone. The Bishop protocol in this case is basically ghost communication for dummies. A set of rules to make sure you're not just hearing what you want to hear in all that supernatural static. It's like playing Can You Hear Me Now, but instead of your friend yelling from a basement, you're trying to catch whispers from the other side. The protocol is supposed to rule out lucky guesses and cold readings through strict controls and blinded conditions. They claim their modification made it more difficult, but I have my share of doubts. In conclusion, this experiment has more holes than Swiss cheese in a mouse house. It's about as scientific as my attempt to teach my cat calculus. Lot of efforts, 0 actual results. And for the record, I still don't have a cat. But anyway, let's hear from the almighty words of Angel Hotline herself on what she thinks of this experiment.
Qualche settimana fa ho invitato, come hai visto, il professor Piero Calvi Parisetti, che ha parlato a lungo proprio di tutta la scienza, di tutte le evidenze scientifiche che ci sono dietro.
Scientific evidence regarding mediums? Wait, who the heck is Piero Calvi Parisetti now? Wait a moment, googling.
What do you have to say for yourself?
Let me get this straight once and for all. Parapsychology is not a science. It's not recognized as an actual field, and for the record, parapsychologists are, no offense, basically the laughing stock of the scientific community. I've already talked about how easily James Randi fooled some of them back in the 70s. Sorry, but I won't consider anything that Professor Parisetti says as scientific facts.
Finalmente.
Finally, she's glad someone is validating her bullcrap.
Dice che ben vengano queste evidenze scientifiche perché c'è una marea in realtà di ahimè ciarlatani, dobbiamo dirlo.
Sì, sono d'accordo.
Yeah, I'd say at least 99% in this field are charlatans. I believe I'm looking at 2 prime examples right now.
Don't be the
Can we get to the bloody experiments already?
Allora, intanto il protocollo italiano è qualcosa di, secondo me, di straordinario perché sostiene anche un po' noi medium, le nostre figure, no? Quindi ci tutela anche un po'.
I don't know what Italian protocol you're talking about here, lady, but no reputable scientific entity in Italy will support or protect the image of mediums. With the risk of being unpopular by your standards, I'd say not even judges or police are huge fans of you or your colleagues.
E dice: c'è qualcosa di straordinario che accade, non sappiamo cosa, ma è straordinario ed è scientificamente testato.
Basically the equivalent of I believe it, therefore is true, plus science.
Perché? Perché vengono fatte delle prove che escludono il fatto che il medium possa leggere psichicamente le informazioni da un ricevente. Che cosa significa leggere psichicamente?
Nothing!
Vuol dire che io posso guardare te e leggerti il campo magnetico.
Ah, so basically you're a human EMF reader. Have you ever considered a career as an electrician?
Quindi vengono fatti questi test dove o hai qualità medianiche oppure non è possibile superarli, cioè ti fermi.
As for all the cases analyzed by CICAP, no one passed the preliminary test. This happens when you apply critical thinking on an already controlled environment.
Quindi cosa accade? Che veramente l'1,8%, se non sbaglio, un dato che mi è stato dato pochi giorni fa, ha veramente delle capacità medianiche, il resto no.
1.8% success rate? And let me guess, this statistic came from your buddy Sinesio? I understand why that number might seem compelling to you and your reality-challenged friends, Elisabetta, but for the rest of us living in the actual world, that data is zero.
Il problema qual è? Che le persone che sono nello stato di lutto, nel bisogno, credono a tutto.
And that's when you usually come in, I guess, right?
Diffidate di chi vi dà delle informazioni banali, generiche, che possono andare bene per te, per te, per te. Diffidate, apritevi al mondo dello spirito, non siate dei muri, vero sì anche questa cosa, che non ti puoi aspettare che il medium ti dica quello che tu vuoi sentirti dire.
No, Elisabetta, I would expect a real medium to tell me something that can be fact-checked with no foul play involved. Something that never actually happens.
Però dopo che hai 3-4 evidenze o un'ora di evidenze rispetto alla comunicazione medianica, a un certo punto tu devi per forza arrenderti.
Yes, surrender to the fact that you're either using cold reading or hot reading techniques. No one in my experience has never given me anything solid.
Ecco, il protocollo, ripeto, complesso, e infatti sono stata anche molto curiosa di vedere che adesso c'è un quintuplo cieco.
And the blinds are irrelevant when the lead researcher doesn't even know what cold reading and Barnum statements are.
Io all'interno del protocollo italiano sono quella che ha avuto l'attività ipnopompica più alta. Che cosa significa attività ipnopompica? Vuol dire che probabilmente il fatto che avessi questa veggenza molto spiccata viene quasi detta una veggenza allucinatoria.
Hypnocompic visions. Don't get scared by the fancy words. It's a term used by pseudo expert to sound professional. Us common folk call it hallucinating. If her hallucinating was at a clinical level, she'd be getting medical treatment.
Io mi sento allucinata quando finisco di lavorare perché faccio fatica a rientrare nella mia vita quotidiana, quindi sento che il mio cervello è completamente scompensato.
Yeah, and I have a feeling you're not the only one thinking that.
Io sento che sono andata da un'altra parte. Ecco, quell'attività oggi viene anche registrata, quindi attraverso lo studio del cervello si mettono in moto delle aree del cervello che normalmente non si illuminano se vengono appunto studiate. Io sono molto favorevole allo studio scientifico, ai protocolli, se magari ne facessero di più.
Well, I'm very glad to hear that, Elisabetta, but I have a feeling you'll only perform these tests with people who can confirm your bias, not people who can actually challenge the claim with real rigorous testing. If that was the case, you would have done this with the CICAP. And this, my dear patron, is just a small extract of the video. For more than 1 hour they keep going and feed in each other madness. But given the fact that we have already established that the experiment, the person who conducted the experiment and the participants were indeed flawed, it really begs the question. Do we even need to continue analyzing this dumpster fire of a video? I'm already feeling dumber just from exposure. Unless any of you patrons want to subject yourselves to an hour of pure pseudoscientific drivel for entertainment purposes? No, I didn't think so. Let's move to the restaurant, guys, and eat something delicious before our brain cell starts abandoning ship looking for a better universe to live in. What a ride. Okay, while this analysis may have started as an opportunity to poke fun at bizarre claims, there is a much more serious and dangerous aspect to consider here. People like Miss Lupano, who present themselves as authorities able to communicate with angels and teach psychic powers without any scientific basis or concrete evidence, pose a real risk. Promoting unrealistic conceptions and selling psychic development courses is not only a waste of time and money for those who believe it, but can have dangerous psychological consequences. And the problem is amplified when supposed experts like Dr. Sinesio, defined by Il Resto del Carlino, a newspaper, as the professor who gives licenses to mediums, endorse these practices with severely flawed studies and skewed results. Presenting such experiments as scientific proof of paranormal abilities is extremely misleading and potentially harmful. Ultimately, in this video we hit not one, not two, but 3 birds with one stone. A content creator blindly in love with parapsychology, a professor giving credence to mediums without the necessary expertise, and a self-proclaimed and alleged clairvoyant receiving angelic revelations on how to create jewelry of dubious healing value. It's a trifecta of gullibility, incompetence, and charlatanism that does nothing but fuel false hopes in the most vulnerable people. A vicious cycle of misinformation that the scientific community and rational thinkers must constantly strive to counter. While their claims might appear silly on a surface, the real danger lies in the undue influence and financial exploitation of those desperate for answer or healing. Psychics and mediums peddling their services have caused immense emotional and monetary harm to countless individuals over the years. It is a disservice to legitimate research and a stain on critical thinking when the paranormal is given an air of credibility without sufficient evidence or rigor. Thorough vetting, replication of results, and adhering to the scientific method are paramount, something clearly lacking in this case. So let this be a cautionary tale of the damage caused by those who would present fantasy as fact for personal gain. A reminder that extraordinary claims require indeed extraordinary evidence, something this medium, her angelic benefactor Zadkiel, and their pseudoscientific enablers have utterly failed to provide. Before I conclude, I want to say something in Italian to our medium. Of course I will add the subtitles, but this message is for Elisabetta. Carissima signora Lupano, è mia opinione personale pensare che quello che sta facendo lei si può riassumere in 2 possibili scenari. Quello psicologico, lei effettivamente vede queste cose e forse è il caso di intraprendere un percorso di guarigione seguita da veri esperti nella materia. O il secondo caso, quello di cui io personalmente ho il fortissimo sospetto, lo scenario giudiziario. Lei sta effettivamente fingendo di parlare con entità superiori per un tornaconto personale. Abbiamo già avuto in passato esempi come Vanna Marchi e più di recente la signora Gisella Cardia, scomunicata dal clero e perseguitata per vie legali. Sicuramente la sua versione sarà diversa da quelle che ho proposto io, assolutamente. Allora a questo punto perché non contatta il CICAP e organizza un test serio dove le sue facoltà divinatorie vengono effettivamente messe alla prova da gente che di presunti medium ne ha visti a bizzeffe? Anyway, that's all I have for you today, my dear patrons, and I hope that I managed once again to entertain you with a laugh or two. I want to thank Dr. Luigi Garlaschelli and Dr. Silvano Fuso of CICAP for their support with this case. Your contribution was indeed vital. And for you all, my dearest patrons, as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you all the next time. Ciao!